My little cousin on his TikTok account talking about he got 100 views. Yeah, because you are the one that keep watching your own videos. Every time somebody come into the house, you always want to show them your videos, talk about you going viral. You literally done watched your own video 100,000 damn times. But yeah, man, I literally just had a conversation. Well, not even a conversation. I was just talking to my family in the living room, you know. Half them went out last night to go have them some fun, you know. I always got to have a little bit of fun, you know. And then my youngest cousin, well, my younger cousin, the 21-year-old, he's trying to go out to go fishing. You know, that's his little stress reliever. So, you know, everybody got to have their little stress reliever, their little fun, what have you. You know, get these little therapeutic sessions. You know, there's a reason why I do what I do. Again, my older cousin, who's 11 years older than me, a male, he scoped me out a while back. You know, I talk about me shuffling cards and cataloging things, and just me. I'm a Libra, so librarian. I like to catalog things. I like to have things in order. That's my way of you know, of therapy and that sort of thing. You know, giving advice, talking a lot. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I was just talking about this thing that I literally just saw a half an hour ago. I'm guessing this is something that recently just happened. Now everybody on social media is talking about it. Ironically, I was just listening to a panel of people argue back and forth with people, grown-ass people, talk about relationships. You know, the topic is always about love and money. But yeah, so we got this girl, Tya Posley, or whatever the case may be. Now her story's making a round on the news. It's gonna surface sooner or later, more in depth, her childhood, her upbringing, and all that stuff. You know, we have all these professionals sitting around a panel, wanting to have concessions, wanting to put their 2 cents in about these sort of situations. They have no idea about what the fuck is going on. They just see what they see on social media, and they try to sit back and judge. Now, someone like me, I just sat in the living room and explained to my family, I'm like, it's kind of not more or less triggering, but it brings up memories of myself. Like, I can barely keep a straight face now. I was a grown-ass man, 17 years old. Well, they would call me a grown-ass man, right? 17 going on 18 years old, laying up in the children's ICU after my surgery, you know, split open, just had life-saving surgery. But yeah, I was pretty much an adult sitting in the children's ward pretty much. So I could look to the left and I would see children with cancer. I would see children with broken necks. I would see children with, you know, they had to have heart surgery so their chests are cracked open. All types of things you wouldn't necessarily think, or, you know, I don't live in a third world country, so of course there's children out there that die of hunger. They don't have clean water to drink, but living in this country, just certain things that I see. So we see this woman slapping the hell out of her barely 1-year-old child because she can't reach the father, or she's so obsessed with the father was doing. Again, I talk about love. You can't expect love from someone else unless you have it from for yourself. So she's slapping the child, and you can tell by the way the child's looking at her, the whole disposition of a child. Again, I'm a therapist. I'm a watcher. I watch people. So again, don't look at me as a crazy person. When people can't control you, they want to call you crazy. When people don't understand or have never seen anything like you, they want to try to label you so that they can put it in their mind and try to have a concept or an idea of what you are. Again, people out there that's trying to control you. So she's slapping this child on social media and has the nerve to post it. Like, again, it'll be triggering for some people. We don't need to be seeing these types of things. Again, that's what's wrong with the internet now. It is a gift and a curse. We get to see what's going on behind closed doors. These women are so infatuated. They make fun of men on social media all day long. TikTok, Instagram, they say whatever they want to say on Facebook. And then when Facebook blocks them, they have something bad to say about Facebook. So Facebook ends up catering to women and let them say and post whatever they want to post online. But as soon as a man gives his 2 cents, they want to put the man in Facebook jail and all this type of stuff. Now, I grew up with a single mother. My father was well off. My father was 4 years older than my mother. You know, that's the type of thing that they did back in the day. So my mom birthed me when she was 16 years old. My father was a high school athlete. Ended up going to Desert Storm and all that sorts of things, and had a pretty much at this point a 30-year career in corrections. So he's always been stable. I had to watch him leave my mom and go to the hood and pick up another woman that already had 2 kids and give them the life that they always wanted, or the life that I should have had, or whatever the case may be. You know, I have no gripes about it. He's serving his karma at the end of the day. You know, leaving Florida and going through mental health issues, missing home and all these sorts of things. I'm his only child, so blase, 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 ba. And I ended up growing up and having grown-ass man conversations when I decided to have a family and my own child at 28 years old. And I'm asking him what happened. And he's like, you know what, son? Your mom wanted to do whatever she wanted to do. I couldn't control her. No one could control her. She literally told me, I'm going to make you hate me through your son. Years later, with the children of my mother, you know, she's not an evil person, but I don't even want to bring tarot and astrology into it. My BM told me to my face during the argument, I'm going to make you hate me. So we see these things play over and over and over and over. Whether we live in poverty, as an example, living in Miami, growing up in Miami, living in a house now, but you know, everybody wants a house and they don't know what it takes to upkeep these houses. But yeah, cats would sneak into the house and eat our food. So my mom would end up mixing acid and things like that, trying to throw the acid on the cats anytime they sneak into the house. One day I woke up starving, wanting something to drink, and I actually drank a cup of acid. This was at maybe 3 or 4 years old. So I still live with that at the end of the day. And so many other different things that's happened. I remember starving in elementary school, still being one of the best children in the class, reading at a college level since I was in the 4th grade, starving, wanting to eat something, and I guess I was stealing, she would say, taking a quarter from off my mom's dresser to buy a bag of chips. The whole school day comes by. As soon as I step in the house, I get an ass whooping because I took change from my mom. So we see these things happening over and over and over and over. Just a small little bit of my story. Again, my mom has a heart of gold, but when you're raised in these crazy situations, there's no understanding of how these things turned out. And again, you go on my YouTube page, I have videos about who I am or who I really am. And I talk about these things, being laid up in the hospital and seeing kids go through things that kids should not have to go through, you know? And the crazy part about it, that kid getting slapped by Kaya, or whatever her name is, if it wasn't her, because she couldn't reach the father, and this is why the fathers are not in the home. If it's not the baby, she would be beating him. Just like what black women tell each other while they sit in groups. Oh, he wants to leave, or he doesn't want to do what you say. Beat him, because it's some slavery shit. Again, going back to the slave quarters, these women didn't really care about their babies because they know the slave owners was going to take their children from them and sell them anyway. So they didn't really have an emotional connection, or they didn't really care about them. Or at least that's the way they were conditioned. So when we see these things, it goes back 100 years. Caucasians have something to ask for. Your friends as ancestors have something to answer for. There isn't a such thing as abuse or rape in African culture. We didn't have words like that because we didn't partake in things like that. But again, this is things that they want to show us online. You know, women will get online and they'll twerk on tables and think that just because they have money and all this, but yet they can't sleep by themselves at the end of the night. You go in their closet or you look under their bed, they got 100 different toys to try to fill a void. And then they try to run up in a man's face and say, you don't do this and you don't do that. Yes, ma'am, I prefer not to because you're crazy as shit. So she's taking it out on the baby because she can't take it out on the father. Thank God it's only one child, because we've heard stories of mothers drowning 4 or 5 children in a tub. She doesn't get a way out or an excuse, talk about, oh, there's no one around to help me. I can't do this by myself. Yeah, because you're running the men out of the household. Yes, thinking is hard for some people. Women are emotional. Deal with your emotions. Let the man deal with thinking and problem solving. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all think y'all have all this education, but y'all not passing the education down to y'all children. Y'all think y'all have all this money. You making $60,000 a year, girl. That's a penny. That's pennies. Literally 2 pennies to the richest women in the world, Oprah. So stop with this shit. If your car broke down in your fancy Benz or drop top coupe you're driving, you couldn't change the car. You couldn't change the tire. You couldn't check the oil. You couldn't do an oil change. But you want to be riding around with window tints, trying to act like you really doing something in this life. You paying for private school, but when your children get home from school, you're not supplementing their education. In order to keep your child quiet while they're sitting in the back of your coupe, you don't want them crying and making noise and asking you questions. You want to feed them junk food and get mad when they spill something in your car, and then you want to reach back while you're driving. One hand got grease. The hand that you have on the wheel has grease on it, but you're reaching back and you're smacking the heck out of your children. Because this is just a small thing. This is just simple. You have no idea what goes on behind closed doors with these men and these women, because it's not just these women and it's not just these men. It's not just black people. It's not just white people. Y'all really need to understand what's going on in this world. People really being affected out here by all of this craziness that's going on. We want to sit back and try to judge whether social media is helping people or is harming people. What's the root of the issue here? What's the root of the problem? But that's all I really wanted to come on here. Time flies when you really get into the zone and you really want to talk about, this is what I like to do. Talk about things. A teacher, there's an explanation out there that needs to be given to the collective. Most people don't want to hear it though. But yeah, I won't even be able to upload this onto my Facebook page without there being an issue. We'll see though. I may upload it onto my YouTube channels. But as an empath or an intuitive, this bothers me. I have to relive things that I went through in my childhood, and I have to relive things that I was literally on my deathbed experiencing. Things that I have to relive now when I see things going on now. A woman that I'm attempting to court, or when I go out on a daily basis and women come towards me and I'm looking at them at side eye like, really? So now I know why I can't have a sexual relationship, why the courting session that I'm currently involved with you in, because you're dealing with things at home. Whether it's a parent that's dying, or whether it's a sister that won't listen, or a brother that probably touched you, or uncle that abused you at some point. And then you get on social media and you're smacking around children. You're talking about men like they're pieces of shit. But no one wants to remember, Eve was doing some bullshit in the garden that she shouldn't have been doing. The garden. Inject a little bit of positivity here. Just call me what you want. But less than a week ago, I had a dream of, I told people to stay away from me. Negative people, stay away from me. I don't need your energy or your karma around me. I've had my third dream this week. The first dream was about the world coming to an end. People literally walking around like zombies, a 28 days later type of situation. The second dream I had was about love. Yeah, I couldn't sleep on my stomach that night. I probably would have drilled a hole through my bed. And then last night I had a dream about going to war and not being able to breathe. And then this thing comes across my news feed about this girl, Tya Posley, abusing her child online. Imagine what she's not showing online, what she's really doing to that child when the camera's not recording. Something 10 times worse. Again, check the disposition of the child. How the child is looking at her mom's side eye covering up. That child probably went through a whole hour of abuse. But let a man slap a woman like that to try to get some correction. People will look at him like he's crazy, right? But that's it, man. I'm out here at the park. I'll probably be getting some tarot readings done. I just got to kind of clear my energy a little bit. My lighter's broken, so I don't have any fire to light any sage or to burn any Palo Santo, to burn any incense. to burn any candles. I just have to sit here, woosah, and bring, like, all these things. We don't need all these. We just need discernment at the end of the day. Everything you need should come from within you. Again, women seeking out the affections of men. And again, it doesn't matter how pretty you are, or how much money you think you got, or how smart, or the best comeback line. Anytime a man says something, you cut him off and you think you just want to win an argument. It doesn't matter about that shit. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be gone like this. And what's the legacy you left behind? What's the lineage you left behind? Generational curses? Instant scars and triggers? Like when I grew up with girls in 8th grade and they had permanent bruises on their faces, this is because they were being abused at home. They got hit so hard that it caused a permanent blood clot on them, wherever on the body it was. Mothers being jealous of their daughters, or being upset at the men that they picked. Just crazy, man. It's crazy. I swear. The blacker the berry, the deeper the roots. And this is a light-skinned female, so you know she has a whole lot of Caucasian blood in her somewhere. She learned that from wherever she learned that from, how to deal with people. Barely out of her 30s. Again, people around here talking about they grown since they were 16 years old, but you done lived to 30, 35, 40, 50 years old, and you're still making the worst decisions that you could possibly make in life. So you're not grown. You don't know what you're doing. You need therapy. You need somebody to step in and yes, give you an order. Just like y'all like to send men to the military. Y'all think y'all run the world, girls. But I just saw another video of a security lady. A dude walked into the friggin' establishment with a gun, and the first thing she did as a security woman is turned around and ran away as the men apprehended the culprit. Call me what you want, but anytime I see somebody with some bullshit, I've always been the underdog that not always usurped bullies. I always took up for people that were less than me, less privileged than I am, even though I grew up not having much. Obviously, right? You can sympathize and empathize with people at that point. You think I care about material things? I've had it already. Again, y'all can sit up on y'all panels and side-eye and have these conversations about me. Oh, he's glittering and he's moonwalking, whatever he's doing, or don't say anything. You might conjure him up. Like I don't know the whole world is watching my shit right now. You want to look cute, but how do you look when you wake up in the morning? When you look yourself in the mirror, how do you look at yourself Friday, Saturday night when you come home 3, 4 in the morning? And you want to jump in bed after a whole night of party, after getting slizzard, white boy wasted. Last night, you know, my cousin came in with her friends, a gay girl that's always getting abused by her gay girlfriend. One of my cousins that I grew up with, I watched her grow from a baby all the way to now she's a woman in her mid-20s that can do whatever she want to do now, you know. I even revealed to my 21-year-old cousin, I'm like, I watched your mom get snatched out of a house when I was in elementary school, when I was in kindergarten, when your mom was was a teenager, barely, because if I was 4 years old at that time, she had to be 15, 16 years old. I watched dudes pull up to the house and snatch her out of the house, butt naked, and all she had was bed sheets on her. Again, these dudes, see, I would never want to get to the point where I want a chick to be fucked up about me, or a female should never get to the point where she wants a dude to be fucked up about her and all this other things that y'all clout chase for. It's really irrelevant at the end of the day. And this isn't the first time, and this isn't the last time we've seen something like this. So stop acting like everyone's so triggered. You guys send children to war. You guys walk past people that goes through problems every day. Your friends can't come to you to get a problem solved, to get an issue helped out. You look at them crazy. But that's it, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. I'll probably be uploading this onto my YouTube. Although I hate uploading these types of things onto my YouTube channel, I'm trying to make sure that my business is just grows, my subscriber base grows. People see things like this and they get triggered. They don't want to hear me talk about stuff like this. Why is this nigga talk about stuff? Pull cards. As an empath, you still have to serve people. Again, I don't care, man. The people that's meant to be around me will understand and they'll stick. If you want to be entertained by some little kid dancing on TikTok and all this other shit, go watch that. Go somewhere else. Don't circle around me waiting for me to die like a vulture. Want to steal my talking points, want to steal my energy, want to drain me. You want to take the positives, but you want to leave the negatives. Peace, man.